It's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to another production here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, where it is our mission to try to bring you some news that you could use. Today is no exception to that rule. Follow me on Twitter X at The Mike Prince Show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And don't forget to visit our website at obnradio.com. With all that being established, let's jump right into today's episode. Well, the Panthers getting ready for this weekend's journey to Itta Bena, Mississippi, as they'll take on the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils. Panthers coming off a strong win on homecoming against Texas A&M Commerce. They'll try to continue their winning streak within conference play now with 4 games remaining. You'll have Mississippi Valley, FAMU, Alcorn, and you'll close out with Alabama State. Panthers on the outside looking in, so they can still finish strong, and barring some type of collapse, they might have an outside chance, but we know theoretically and realistically that they're probably a little far-fetched on that, so all you want to do is finish strong right now. Meanwhile, Mississippi Valley's trying to find their first win of the season, and I'm a little leery. I've got confidence in the Panthers, but you always want to be conscious that the Valley and the Pine Bluffs have passed. They always come up and bite somebody unexpectedly, and we're hoping that it's someone else and not the Panthers this weekend, as their kickoff will be at 2 p.m. Central Time. You can listen live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, as we'll simulcast that broadcast from Itta Bena, Mississippi. Other matchups this weekend for the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Texas Southern will travel to Florida to take on the Rattlers of FAMU. That kickoff will be at 3 p.m. Central Time. The Southern Jags will travel to Lewis Crew Stadium, take on Alabama A&M Bulldogs. That kickoff will be at 2 p.m. Central Time. Alcorn will meet up with Alabama State in Mobile, Alabama. I believe that kickoff is going to be at 3 p.m. Central Time. Southern still on top of the West, trying to hold off others coming from behind. Arkansas Pine Bluff will take on Jackson State at Jackson State. That kickoff time is for 2 p.m. Central Time. And Bethune-Cookman will take on the Grambling State Tigers and Coach Mickey Joseph, who's about $5,000 lighter, on Saturday. That kickoff is scheduled for 2 p.m. The frustration that settles in on these coaches, man, can be immense. And sometimes you just got to say what you got to say and just deal with what you have to deal with. And that was the case for Coach Joseph this past week on the conference call. He said, hey, I'm going to say how I feel. I can afford to pay the bill, and so be it. Meanwhile, Grambling State will try to find their way from the bottom of the Western Division as they are in the number 6 spot on the west side of things. Meanwhile, I want to revisit Homecoming 2024 for the Panthers this past weekend. A successful event, a great turnout, pretty decent turnout inside the stadium, but an immense turnout outside the stadium on the campus grounds and throughout the community. And it got one to thinking, and we'll go in further discussion with Ben, Jack, and Mike later on some potential things we've been kicking across that we can come up with that can help draw the crowds for PV home games. And it's not just PV home games, but throughout we've been reading and hearing about what's going on with South Carolina Gamecocks men's basketball to draw the seats in December of last year, 2023. The AD and the administrative team came up with a creative, somewhat risque event, but it did pay dividends on the backside of things. For the month of December, when you know you're just getting into some of your non-conference basketball battles, not quite breaking into conference play yet, but they had free concessions for everyone with a paid admission to enter into the game. And it makes you wonder, is there any type of formula that could be worked out on the lower tier, in the case of Prairie View, to help draw the interest. Now, I know you'd have to limit some of your items. You couldn't have some big price items, but I'm imagining maybe popcorn, hot dog, and a drink. Those are some things that are pretty profitable when you look at the cost and the margin levels that you could possibly afford to earmark. Maybe a certain number, 1,000 or so, or 2,000 hot dogs, or whatever the case may be. Not everyone would partake in it, but just in case, where you could get people to come to the seats or come to these games to fill the seats. It's amazing that we look, of course, at what's immediately in front of us, and then when you look at the quote-unquote big boys around us, they are having some similar challenges. So I guess I got a question or help for those that listen to the show on a regular basis. We have a couple of ways you can help us out by dialing our 24-hour message line, 720-721-1558, or leaving your comments on our YouTube channel or other platforms such as Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, any way that you listen to our programming. What media events, or not necessarily media events, but events period, to draw fans, not only for football, basketball, but just sporting events period? What are some creative events that you think would help lure more people to some of these events? I know winning is the cure-all, but even when winning, it still has a hesitancy of getting people to fill the stadium seats as they should. So we would love to hear some of your thoughts, comments, and ideas of some creative ways of getting people to come to these games. That 24-hour message line again, 720-721-1558, or you can hit us on any one of our platforms. Of course, YouTube is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Twitter X is the Mike Prince Show. Meanwhile, back to this weekend's matchups on the gridiron, I'm going to be paying very close attention to Alabama State and Alcorn. Both of these teams are on the top of their respective divisions, and it could be a turning point for both of these programs. So, of course, we'll be monitoring all of the Southwestern Athletic Conference scores throughout the course of the weekend. And for those that are locally within the Waller County, Texas area, do hold on and hold tight for Waller Bulldog action on Friday night, the last home game of the season at Waller Stadium, or should I say the infamous newly named stadium of Daikin Stadium in Waller, Texas. As I get ready to exit stage left, I want to remind you that we are always open for those who would love to help support the cause, make a donation, whatever the amount may be. All you have to do is visit the website at obnradio.com, click on the donation button, and send your support today. And if you happen to be on the go, don't have time to go to the website, you can always send your support by way of Cash App at $OBN Radio. I must exit stage left. My time is far spent for today. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Follow me on Twitter X at The Mike Prince Show, and subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.